Well, hello. This is Rosa, rcgkreations. How you doing? We're bringing to you a video on preserving your. Let me turn this around. On preserving your eggs, as everybody knows, here in the USA, egg prices. Hey, egg prices have really raised and gone up. So what I'm doing is I'm freezing. I'm only going to do 1 dozen because we're down to half a dozen in the fridge. So we'll use those next week. You get any kind of a mold. You can do, like, if all you have is ice cube trays, use ice cube trays, but ice cube trays are so much smaller than these silicone molds. Put the egg wash in each little divider of the ice cream trays and do the yolk by itself, okay? And it ain't gonna hurt it once you thaw it out. You're gonna because these are silicone, they're really flimsy. I like to always put them on the cookie sheet, and then I stick it in the freezer for 2 hours. They freeze, and then I take them out, and I put them in an individual. Actually, I don't. This size I don't. I just put the whole thing in a Ziploc gallon baggie, and I'll label one baggie scrambled and one non-scrambled. And the reason is you want to do that is when you freeze an egg just like this, the egg yolk and everything together, or even when you're doing it separately, same thing, and you didn't scramble it all up together, when you go thaw it out, you thaw it out the night before or the morning of, it takes about 30, 35, 40 minutes for it to totally thaw out, okay? The yolk's going to take a lot longer because it's solid yolk, okay? So I like to do take them out, put them in a dish. I just take one however many eggs that I'm going to need the next day, put them in a bowl, stick it in the fridge, cover it, and stick it in the fridge. The only reason I like to cover it is because I don't want any whatever odors are in the refrigerator to get onto the egg. So I always cover it up, okay? And then when you get ready to make your scrambled eggs, they're not going to scramble very well because of the yolk, the texture of the yolk. Once you freeze it, it does change the texture of the yolk. But it's still great to use for baking, making cookies, making cakes, the whole shebang. And it really is good to have scrambled eggs the next day, but you need to scramble the yolk. So I've got another set already there. I'm going to bring it out and show it to you in just a second. But all you're doing is you're getting your egg. I save my shells because I have a garden, so I rinse this off, boil it, and then I save my ground up my eggs. So just release that. This is my towel because of my eggs. So let me just bring this up to you. See that? So there's all the yolk. So now I'm just going to go in here and with a fork lightly scramble the yolk and the white. And you want to make sure it's really scrambled pretty good. Now these are decorated silicone molds for cakes, mini cakes. But I don't care about the shape because I just care about having the frozen product so I can extend the shelf life of my eggs. So I'm sorry, but I'm not spending $14 for 1 dozen eggs. I'm not doing that. And I have downloaded a bunch of egg substitutes. So as I'm baking or if I'm cooking, of what can I use to substitute for eggs, because we might come to that stage where I might be in that pickle where I don't have any eggs whatsoever. So if you have freezer space, do at least 1 or 2 dozen of these. And remember, before you go, when the eggs in the refrigerator are empty, grab the freezer ones out, and then when you go to the store again, rotate them and do it over again. Now these will have a good 3 to 6 month shelf life in your freezer, okay? But I put these in a quart-size bag, whatever fits in the quart-size bag, and then that quart-size bag goes into a Ziploc gallon bag, and they're all freezer safe baggies, okay? And that just gives you ever protection because you just don't know. You might, for whatever reason, may not get to it till the 4th or the 5th month, and you don't want to get freezer burn. So I'm just showing you. And we don't have any chickens. We live in a subdivision in the city. We're actually on the outside of the city, but we can't have chickens in our subdivision. So I just throw away my containers, and I don't know of anybody that needs containers. Otherwise, I would save it and give it to them, but I don't. So as you can see how I mixed them all up? They're all, basically all I'm doing is scrambling them up. So we're going to have 5 scrambled eggs that whenever we we want breakfast, and I'll take them out the night before. I typically know the next day that we're going to have breakfast, because we usually don't have breakfast until our weekend when we're both off work. Hubby goes in at 4, I go in at 8. I go in at 9. I leave the house at 8 because of the traffic. It's wonderful living in a big city. Only 12 miles away, but the traffic is ridiculous. So I got totally out of frame. Sorry about that, y'all. So I'm just making it easy. It was hard to reach over on the other side of the cookie sheet, so I just spin the cookie sheet around. Let me show you. There they are. So these are the scrambled. So now I'm just going to put them in the freezer, flash freeze them for 2 hours, take them out, put them in the Ziploc baggies, and we're good to go. I'll bring you back when we get to that phase, because there's no taste test in this video. This is just to show you one way of extending the shelf life of your eggs because of the price of eggs right now. Another thing you can do is you can always dehydrate them, or you can actually dry them out in your oven, but that takes a long time, and I don't have that kind of time. So I'm not gonna do it this time. I'm gonna do it the next round, because I know I need to save these, because we're gonna be using these next week. Is the next batch. From now on, I'm always gonna get, especially if the price is good, I'm gonna get 2 to 4 cartons of eggs, and then I'm gonna start freezing as long as I know I have freezer shelf space, and freeze them. And then I'm gonna do I'm gonna try to do 4 dozen, dehydrate them and powder them. So that way I can use the powder into the baking process. And it's basically I have a recipe, I forget what it is. If I remember, I'll put a pop-up of it. And put it down there and let you know I don't know what the measurement is when you do powder that equals 1 egg. Okay, but there is a recipe and a measurement for that. And I do have in my pantry right now some powdered eggs that I did, probably 9 or 10, 12 years ago. I vacuum sealed it, so they've been vacuum packed, and they can last in a mason jar that's been vacuum sealed for a good 15, 20 years. But because of the being scarce, I've already gotten it out. It's now that jar is in my pantry. In fact, I think I have it right here. Let me go grab it. And so whenever a recipe needs eggs, I'm going to use my powder versus using a raw egg. So that's another way you can extend the life of your grocery bill. Let me double check to make sure I still have it in here. Okay, yeah. Here's my jar of my eggs that I dehydrated. I do have an oxygen absorber in there. That's what that is. And I did this 2014. February 26, 2014. Oh, here's the measurement. 1 whole egg equals 1.5 tablespoons of 1 large egg. So for 1 whole egg is 1.5 tablespoons. That equals 1 large egg. So I have my measurements right here. So whenever I need to bake something, I can use my powdered eggs. And this is a way of extending the shelf life of your eggs. So thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you in the next video. Take care now. Bye-bye. Oh, wait a minute. Forgot. I was supposed to show you the other one. Here's the whole egg one. I'm not going to scramble these. They're just going to stay whole. Okay. Now we're done. Thank you so much for watching. We take care now. Have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.